Hello and welcome to Comp 1000 instructional video number 28B. My name is Mark Avery, and today we are going to do 5 steps that are the middle 5 steps of Escel Unit C project. We're using a different form, and but the performance of the steps is the same, so hopefully this will help you in your success with Escel Unit C. Okay, so what are the 5 steps that we're going to do? We're going to use AutoFit to resize the width of a column. We're going to center some text. That's the second thing we're going to do. We're going to edit, this is something definitely new, we're going to edit a conditional formatting rule that is already set up in Escel, and I'll explain that a little bit when we get there. We're going to italicize some text, and then the last thing that we're going to do is, whereas when we started out this video, I told you that we were going to use AutoFit to resize the width of a column. We're going to close out by actually changing the column width, but we're going to do it manually. So let's get started. You see that, excuse me, you see that I have the Buck's Soup House file up. This is the same file that we were utilizing in video 28A, and we're just picking up right where we left off. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to use AutoFit to resize a column. And let's use column F here. You see where we obviously have some other words here, some other letters that make up 2 words in F4. But we can't see it. We can't see either word in total the way that we have it formatted right now. This column is too narrow. Column F is too narrow. So what we want to do is we want to AutoFit. And what is AutoFit? AutoFit basically tells the software to do this. It says F in column F, and I'm going to click right on the letter F. I want you to make this column wide enough so that the longest number or the longest words will fit in there. So it's going to scan all the way from F1 down to the bottom of column F, and it's going to find out what's the longest thing in here, and it's going to set the column to that width. So let's do this. It's called AutoFit column width. We're going to click on the F, which we've already done. Then we go over here to Format in the Cells group. We click on the More button to Format, and right there we see AutoFit column width. But when I left click on it, notice what it does. It finds that very unsatisfied is the longest item in here, so it made the column just wide enough to fit very unsatisfied. That is the step to changing the width of a column using AutoFit. You will do that in step 10 of your Escel Unit C project. Let's go to step 11 of your Escel Unit C project, where you are to center the text not just in a cell, but in a range of cells. So if all I wanted to do was center the text in, let's say, D14, I would click in just that cell, and I would center it like we did in Word and like we've done already in other Escel work. And that's in the alignment group, you see the center. But what we want to do is, and let's just do that so that we see that all it does is center that word neutral. So I click there and it centers neutral. But what you're asked to do in step 11 of your Escel Unit C project is you're asked to center the text in a long range of cells. And remember, a range of cells is simply a series of individual cell addresses that butt up next to each other, that touch each other. So let's do A14 through H14. Let's center all of those words. So I'm going to click on H14 and hold. I drag over to H14, and I go up here again to my alignment group, and I click on center. And within each column, it's centered each of those words, department all the way over to average. You will center a range of cells, center the text in a range of cells in step 11 of your Escel Unit C project. Now, something that's going to be new to you, and we just barely touch on it. This is an introductory course, so we don't get too deep in conditional formatting. But something that you're going to do in step 12 of your Escel Unit C project is you're going to change a rule that's already been set. And the rule that we're going to change is called a conditional formatting rule. And what conditional formatting is, very briefly, is it's an if-then type of statement. And by if-then, I mean this. You would have, and again, we're not going to get deep into this in our introductory course, but someone would have already designated that certain cells, if this happens, then do this. Such as, let's say that if I wanted, if the number is less than 0, make the number red. That's an if-then. If the number is less than 0, a negative number in other words, if the number is less than 0, then present it on the screen as being bold and in red. That would be a type of conditional formatting. Well, there's been some conditional formatting put in here in cells H15 through H19. So I'm going to click on H15 and drag down to H19. And the conditional formatting is already in there for you. All they want you to do in Excel Unit C of the introductory course is change the rule. So I'm going to select this range from H15, I left click and hold, drag down to H19, and I go up to conditional formatting, which is in the Home tab in the Styles group. I click on the little More button, and I go all the way down here to the bottom where it says Manage Rules. Yeah, I want to manage this rule. I want to change something about it. So I click on Manage Rules, and this box opens up. Now here's the mistake that most students will make. They'll try to do this edit rule and all that, but the first thing that you need to do is you need to tell the software which rule do you want to change. Even if, as it is in this case, even if there's only one rule here, I still have to say this rule. So how do I do that? I find this little blank spot here and I left click on it. See how it selects it? And I say, okay, now with this rule, I want to edit it. So I click on the Edit Rule button. And let's change the maximum number. The maximum value, there's maximum value. Let's change that to 5. So I click to the right of it, I backspace over 3.2, I put in 5, and I click on OK, and I click on Apply, because I want to apply this new rule, and I click on OK. Alright? And it changed the maximum number that can be typed into these 5 boxes, into these 5 cells. It changed it from being 3.2 to 5. You will edit conditional formatting in step 12 of your Excel Unit C project. Now let's go to another thing that we've done already in Word and in earlier activities in Excel, and that is to italicize some text or some numbers that are in a cell. So let's pick A20. I noticed that A10, the word total is kind of in italics, right? Yeah, sure it is. So let's make A20 the same thing. So I click in A20, and I go up here in the font group, and I click on the italicize. You will italicize the contents of a cell in step 13 of your Excel Unit C project. The last thing I want to do is revisit making a column wider or narrower. You remember the very first thing we did in this video, video 28B, the very first thing we did is we did something called AutoFit. Well, what I want to do is I want to show you how the 2 different ways that you can change the width of a column manually. Okay, so let's take column H for example. Let's say I want to make column H a lot wider. Alright, one way I can do this is, you see this little vertical line that runs between column H and column I. I get directly over it until my cursor changes into, looks like a cross with arrows pointing to the left and to the right. I click and hold my left mouse button and notice it tells me that the width is 8.38. Well, let's say I wanted to make this 20. Okay, and I'm just doing this as an exercise. It's not part of your project just yet. I would drag out, I'm still holding down the left mouse button, I drag out here until I get to 20. Let's see if I can get it right on it. There it is, and I let go. And look how wide that column is now. Another way that you can set the width of a column manually is to type it in. So I'm going to click on column H. I left click on column H. I left click on in the cell group on the Format tab, and there it says column width. I left click on it, and in this case I type in the number 12. I want it to be 12 wide. And I click on OK. And now my column, if I click there, I can see it's 12 wide. Okay. You will set column width in step 14 of your Excel Unit C project. That completes the B version of video 28, which were the middle 5 steps of the Excel Unit C project. We will pick up with step 15 and do steps 15 through 21 in video 28C. Thank you for your attention.